My wife's lawyer slid the divorce papers over and told me to sign. I acted like I was reading, but I'd already swapped them with my own. When my lawyer asked him to read the terms aloud, his smile disappeared instantly. Her lawyer slid the papers across the table with a smirk. "Just sign here, Mr. Davidson. And here, initial this page." I picked up the pen, pretended to read, let my hand shake a little. Amanda sat beside her lawyer with her arms crossed. She looked bored, like this was just paperwork, like she hadn't spent 6 months planning to take everything. "Any questions?" her lawyer asked. His name was Derek Hoffman. Expensive suit, fake tan, the kind of guy who charges $800 an hour to smile while he ruins your life. "No," I said. "I just want this over with." Amanda's smile was sharp. Finally being smart about something. I'd found the burner phone 3 weeks ago, tucked in her gym bag under a towel that still smelled like whatever overpriced perfume she'd started wearing. The text to Derek went back 5 months. They weren't just planning my divorce, they were sleeping together. The messages were detailed, graphic, nauseating. She called me a paycheck with legs. He called me a mark. And right there, in black and white, was their entire plan. Papers that gave her the house, both cars, my retirement accounts, and 70% of my software consulting business. I'd walk away with debt and a studio apartment. The kicker? She was claiming I'd been abusive, emotionally manipulative, that she feared for her safety. All lies, but Derek had coached her well. She had fake journal entries documenting years of psychological abuse, texts she'd sent herself from a second phone showing me, threatening her, even a voice recording where she'd edited my words, spliced together from different conversations, to sound menacing. He'd built her an entire case while sleeping with her in hotels I was paying for. I found all of it on that burner phone. And that's when I called Janet Rodriguez. Let me back up, because you need to understand how I got to this moment. Sitting in a conference room with my hand shaking as I prepared to sign away my life, or at least appear to. Amanda and I had been married for 8 years. We met at a tech conference in Austin. She was working in marketing for a startup. I was freelancing, building custom software for small businesses. We clicked immediately, or at least I thought we did. She was beautiful, ambitious, funny. She made me feel like I was part of something bigger than writing code in my apartment at 2 a.m. We got married fast, maybe too fast, 6 months after we met. The first 3 years were good, great even. We bought a house in Portland, a beautiful craftsman with a yard and a view of the mountains. I started my own consulting firm. She climbed the corporate ladder at a marketing agency. We talked about kids, about the future, about growing old together. Then things shifted, small things at first. She started working late more often, taking calls in the other room, being vague about where she'd been. I told myself it was just work stress, that I was being paranoid, that 8 years of marriage meant trust, meant giving each other space. I was an idiot. The gym membership came first. Amanda had never been particularly athletic, but suddenly she was at the gym 5 days a week. "I need to take better care of myself," she said. "Feel better about my body." I supported it, encouraged it, even bought her a new gym bag as a gift. That gym bag would eventually destroy her. Then came the girls' trips, weekend getaways with her friends, wine country, Vegas, Seattle, always somewhere expensive, always charged to our joint credit card. "You don't mind, do you?" she'd ask. "I work so hard. I deserve to relax." And I'd say no, of course not. Go have fun. Because I was still the guy who believed marriage meant being supportive, being generous, being understanding. 6 months ago, things got weird. Amanda started asking detailed questions about my business, how much I was making, who my clients were, what my contracts looked like. "Just curious," she'd say. "I want to understand what you do." Then she started suggesting I should formalize things, get better insurance, open a separate business account, make everything official. "It'll protect you," she said. "Protect us." I thought she was being thoughtful, looking out for our future. She was building documentation, creating a paper trail that showed exactly how much my business was worth, exactly what she could take in a divorce. 3 months ago, she started keeping a journal. I'd see her writing in it before bed. Private thoughts, I assumed. Her way of processing stress. It was evidence, fake evidence. Dates and times I'd supposedly yelled at her, belittled her, made her feel small. None of it happened, but she wrote it all down with the careful detail of someone building a legal case. And I noticed none of it, because I trusted her, because she was my wife. Then came the burner phone. It was a Tuesday. I came home early from a client meeting that ended ahead of schedule. Amanda was at the gym, or so she said. I was putting away laundry, picked up her gym bag to see if there were any dirty clothes. That's when I felt it. A hard rectangular shape in the side pocket. Wrong size for her regular phone. I pulled it out. A cheap Android, not her iPhone. My stomach dropped. I turned it on. No lock screen. She'd been careless, overconfident. The texts loaded, hundreds of them, all to one contact. DH, Derek Hoffman. The first message was from 5 months ago. "He has no idea. This is going to be easier than I thought." I sat down on the bedroom floor, started scrolling. Each message was worse than the last. "Amanda, I showed him the journal today. He looked so concerned. Asked if I wanted to talk to someone. LOL. He's so clueless. Derek. Perfect. Keep documenting. We need at least 3 months of evidence before we file. Amanda, how much do you think we can get? Derek, everything. House, cars, retirement accounts, business. I'm drafting papers that'll leave him with nothing. Amanda, God, you're good. No wonder I'm sleeping with you instead of that boring tech nerd. My hands were shaking. I kept reading. Derek, the voice recording worked perfectly. Spliced together 3 different conversations. Sounds like he's threatening you. Amanda, you're a genius. When this is over, we should go to Cabo on his dime. Derek, already booked. 2 weeks. 5-star resort. He's paying for the whole thing without knowing it. There were photos, screenshots of my bank statements, my business contracts, my retirement account balances. She'd photographed everything while I was asleep or at work. And then there were the other messages, the sexual ones, detailed descriptions of their affair. Hotel rooms I'd paid for with our credit card while I thought she was at marketing conferences. I sat there for 2 hours, reading every message, every plan, every lie. By the time I heard her car in the driveway, I'd put the phone back exactly where I found it, composed myself, acted normal. When she walked in, all bright smiles and gym sweat, I asked how her workout was. Great, she said. Really pushed myself today. I smiled back. That's good. I'm proud of you. And inside, I was screaming. The next morning, I called Janet Rodriguez. Janet was a divorce attorney. I'd done some consulting work for 2 years ago, custom client management software. She'd been impressed with my work. We'd stayed in touch. Professional Christmas cards, occasional coffee. I need help, I told her, and I need absolute discretion. We met at a coffee shop 40 minutes outside Portland. I showed her everything, photos of every text, screenshots of every message, the fake journal entries I'd photographed while Amanda was in the shower, the edited voice recording I'd found on her laptop. Janet listened. Her face stayed neutral, professional. When I finished, she sat back and folded her hands. This is one of the most comprehensive fraud cases I've seen in 20 years, she said. Derek Hoffman should be disbarred. Your wife should be facing criminal charges. Can we stop it? Better. We can turn it back on them. She laid out the plan. It was insane, risky, possibly illegal depending on how you interpreted certain statutes, but it was perfect. Here's what you're going to do, Janet said. You're going to act like the clueless husband. You're going to let her file, let her serve you papers, let Derek think he's winning, and when they slide those papers across the table for you to sign, you're going to swap them. Swap them? With papers, I'm going to draft. Identical formatting, same page count, same font, but different terms. Terms that give you everything, that leave her with nothing, and most importantly, that include a sworn confession to fraud and perjury. She'll never sign that. Janet smiled. It was a cold smile, a smile that had seen too many people underestimate her. She won't read it. People never read what they think they already know. For 3 weeks, I played the part. I acted stressed, defeated, like I knew what was coming but was too tired to fight it. Amanda filed on a Wednesday. I was served at my office by a guy who looked apologetic. The papers were exactly what I expected. Everything Derek and Amanda had planned. The house, the cars, the business, my retirement accounts, the abuse allegations were there too. Pages of them. Documented incidents that never happened. Testimony from her friends who'd apparently witnessed my cruelty. All lies. I called Janet. They filed. Good. Now we wait for the meeting. Don't do anything. Don't confront her. Just play weak. Play defeated. It was the hardest 3 weeks of my life. Amanda moved into the guest room for her safety. Started going through the house, tagging items she wanted. My grandmother's china, the painting I'd inherited from my father, even the coffee maker I'd bought before we met. Just making a list, she'd say sweetly. For the settlement, she was so confident, so certain she'd already won. Derek called me once, a courtesy call to discuss terms. Mr. Davidson, I'm hoping we can resolve this amicably. My client is being very generous. She's not asking for alimony, just her fair share of marital assets. 70% of my business is fair. Given your documented history of emotional abuse, I'd say she's being quite reasonable. I never abused her. Your wife has journal entries spanning 2 years, voice recordings, witness testimony. Mr. Davidson, if this goes to trial, you'll lose everything and face potential criminal charges. I'm trying to help you avoid that. I let my voice crack. Let him hear the defeat. I just want this over with. Smart man. We'll schedule a meeting. Bring your attorney. We'll finalize everything. He thought he'd broken me. Thought I was just another mark. Meanwhile, Janet was working. She drafted our papers with surgical precision. Every term, every clause, every word designed to look identical to Derek's version at first glance. Same font, Times New Roman, 12 point. Same margins, same headers, same page count, but the content was different. In Janet's version, Amanda got nothing. No house, no cars, no business assets, no retirement accounts. I kept everything. Better yet, she'd owe me alimony. $3,500 a month for 5 years, plus legal fees, plus restitution for the fraud. And at the end, in section 12, was the confession. I, Amanda Davidson, acknowledge that I have knowingly made false statements under oath regarding alleged abuse. I admit to fabricating evidence including journal entries, text messages, and audio recordings for the purpose of financial gain in divorce proceedings. I have engaged in an undisclosed sexual sexual relationship with my attorney, Derek Hoffman, creating a conflict of interest that invalidates his representation. I waive all rights to dispute this confession and acknowledge that criminal charges may result from my actions. She'll never sign this, I said again, when Janet showed me the draft. Watch her, Janet said. We practiced the swap, over and over, in Janet's conference room, with identical folders, with my hands shaking from adrenaline. The key was confidence, looking defeated while actually being in complete control. Don't improvise, Janet warned. Don't get emotional, just follow the script. When Derek slides the folder to you, flip straight to our version. Hold our papers, look at our papers, sign our papers. When he asks you to slide them back, slide them back. He won't check. He's going to be watching you for signs of resistance. He'll never look at the actual document. What if he does? Then we go to plan B. We show the judge every text message and let them decide who committed fraud. And if that doesn't work, it'll work. These people are arrogant. Arrogant people make mistakes. The meeting was scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. Hoffman and Associates. Fancy building downtown. Glass and steel. The kind of place that charged you $200 just to walk through the door. Amanda arrived 10 minutes early. I watched her from the parking garage. She was wearing the dress I'd bought her for her birthday, a little extra twist of the knife. I arrived exactly on time. Janet was already in the lobby, looking sharp in a gray suit, professional, calm, radiating the kind of quiet competence that made you believe everything would be okay. You ready? She asked. No. Good. Nervous is believable. Let's go. We were led to a conference room. Big table, leather chairs, windows overlooking the city. Derek was already there, all expensive suit and fake tan and smug smile. Amanda sat beside him. She looked at me with something like pity. Marcus, she said softly, I'm sorry it came to this. I almost laughed. Sorry. She was sorry. Let's get started, Derek said. He slid a folder across the table. Mr. Davidson, these are the settlement terms we discussed. Everything is outlined clearly. You'll see my client is being more than fair given the circumstances. I picked up the pen, opened the folder. Janet had slipped our version underneath Derek's papers that morning, during a brief moment when the receptionist had taken the folder to make copies. The swap was already done. I just had to sell it. I pretended to read Derek's top page while actually reading Janet's version underneath. My hands shook, not because I was nervous, because I was furious. At Derek's smirk, at Amanda's fake sympathy, at the 6 months they'd spent destroying my life while sleeping together. Any questions? Derek asked. No, I said quietly. I just want this over with. Amanda's smile was sharp, triumphant, finally being smart about something. I nearly snapped the pen. I signed the first page, slowly, making a show of it. Defeated husband accepting his fate. I initialed the second page, signed the third. Derek watched me like I was a particularly stupid animal about to walk into a trap. Amanda checked her phone, texted someone, probably her sister, probably saying, it's done, we won. I signed the last page, slid the folder back across the table. Done, I said. Derek pulled it toward him, started to close it, didn't even glance at the pages. Why would he? He'd drafted them. He knew what they said. Janet cleared her throat. Actually, she said, her voice calm and professional, before we file, I'd like Mr. Hoffman to read the terms aloud, for the record. Standard procedure in settlements of this magnitude. Derek frowned. That's not necessary. We all know what I insist, Janet said. The temperature in the room dropped about 10 degrees. My client wants absolute clarity on what he's agreed to. Surely you can accommodate that simple request. Amanda sighed. Derek, just do it. Let's get out of here. I need a drink. Derek opened the folder, started reading. His expression went from confident to confused to pale in about 5 seconds. What the hell is this? He said. Keep reading, Janet said. He did, out loud, every word, and I watched Amanda's face cycle through emotions like a slot machine. The marital home located at 4856 Hawthorne Avenue shall remain the sole property of Marcus Davidson, Derek read, his voice getting tighter. Both vehicles, the 2022 Tesla Model 3 and the 2021 Honda CR-V, shall remain the sole property of Marcus Davidson. Davidson Consulting LLC shall remain wholly owned by Marcus Davidson with no claims from Amanda Davidson. Wait, Amanda said. Wait, that's not. Amanda Davidson shall pay Marcus Davidson alimony in the amount of $3,500 per month for a period of 60 months, Derek continued, his voice cracking now. Amanda Davidson shall be responsible for all legal fees incurred by both parties. Amanda lunged for the papers. I didn't sign that. That's not what I signed. Janet pulled out her phone, pressed play. Security footage filled the screen. Clear shot of the conference room from a camera mounted in the corner. Timestamp 2:14 p.m. That was 7 minutes ago. On the screen, Amanda picked up the papers, looked at each page, signed, initialed, signed again. You signed it, Janet said calmly. Witnessed and recorded in accordance with Oregon Revised Statutes, Section 18862. Every signature authenticated. Derek was sweating now. Actually sweating. His fake tan was starting to streak. This is fraud. This is forgery. This is Section 12, Janet interrupted. The confession. Read that part, Derek. Out loud. For the record. Derek looked like he might vomit, but he read it. Every word. I, Amanda Davis, Davidson, acknowledge that I have knowingly made false statements under oath regarding alleged abuse. I admit to fabricating evidence including journal entries, text messages, and audio recordings for the purpose of financial gain in divorce proceedings. I have engaged in an undisclosed sexual relationship with my attorney, Derek Hoffman, creating a conflict of interest that invalidates his representation. I waive all rights to dispute this confession and acknowledge that criminal charges may result from my actions. The silence that followed was beautiful. Amanda turned to Derek. Her face was vicious, transformed, the mask completely off. "You said this was airtight!" she screamed. "You said he was stupid. You said we'd be in Cabo in 6 months." "I never said," Derek started. "You called him a mark." Amanda grabbed his arm. "You said this would be easy. You said—" Derek yanked away from her. "I did my job. You're the one who signed papers without reading them, because you told me to. I told you to read everything carefully. You're sleeping with me. You said you had everything under control." Janet stood up, smoothed her suit jacket. "The papers are filed as of 2:19 p.m. The confession is sworn and witnessed. If you want to fight this, Amanda, you'll do it alone. Mr. Hoffman will be too busy defending himself to the Oregon State Bar." She slid a folder across the table, thin, official looking. "These are copies of every text message between you and Mr. Hoffman over the past 5 months, including detailed discussions of your affair, including Mr. Hoffman coaching you to fabricate evidence, including plans to defraud my client of marital assets while engaging in a sexual relationship that creates a clear conflict of interest." Derek opened the folder, went white. "Screenshots from Amanda's burner phone," Janet continued, "the one she kept in her gym bag. Every message authenticated, every hotel receipt attached, every piece of evidence showing systematic fraud and attorney malpractice." She pulled out another document. "I've already filed a complaint with the Oregon State Bar. They'll be contacting you within 48 hours. I've also forwarded copies to the district attorney's office. Fraud, perjury, and conspiracy to commit fraud are all felonies in Oregon." Amanda was crying now, real tears, mascara running down her face. "You bastard," she hissed at me. "You sneaky bastard, you—" "Me," I said. My voice was calm, calmer than I'd felt in 3 weeks. "I'm not the one who spent 5 months planning to steal everything I built. I'm not the one who fabricated abuse allegations. I'm not the one sleeping with my lawyer while plotting fraud. You set me up." "No, you set yourself up. I just stopped playing the mark." Derek was on his phone now, calling someone, probably his own attorney. His hands were shaking so badly he could barely hold the phone. "This is insane," he was saying. "I need someone from the firm. Now, I need—" Amanda turned on him. "This is your fault. You said you had everything covered. You said—" "Shut up!" Derek shouted. "Stop talking! Don't say another word!" But Amanda was past listening. She was screaming now, about how I was ruining her life, about how Derek had promised her everything, about how this wasn't fair. "Fair?" I said quietly. "You wanted to take my house, my business, my retirement, leave me with nothing while you and your lawyer boyfriend celebrated in Mexico on my money. And you're talking about fair? I deserved that house. I picked it out. I decorated it with my money. Money I earned while you were planning to destroy me. You're so cold, so calculated. I never knew you were like this." "Like what? Someone who doesn't let himself get robbed?" Security showed up then. 2 guys in uniforms. Apparently someone, probably Derek's receptionist, had called them when the screaming started. "Everything okay in here?" the older guard asked. "We're fine," Janet said smoothly. "We're just finishing up. Ms. Davidson and Mr. Hoffman are leaving now." Amanda looked at me one last time. Her face was a mess. Makeup smeared. Eyes red. Nothing like the confident woman who'd walked in here 20 minutes ago. "I hate you," she whispered. "I know," I said. Derek grabbed her arm, pulled her toward the door. She tried to resist, tried to say more, but he was dragging her now, desperate to get out before she said anything else incriminating. The door closed behind them. I sat down. My legs felt like water. Janet sat beside me. "You did good." "Did I? I just destroyed my wife's life. Your wife destroyed her own life. You just refused to be collateral damage. What happens now?" "Now? The Bar Association investigates Derek. The DA reviews the fraud allegations. If they prosecute, and I think they will, Amanda could face felony charges. At minimum, she'll have a criminal record. At worst, jail time." "Jesus. She fabricated abuse allegations, Marcus. She tried to ruin your reputation, your business, your life, so she could steal your money and run off with her boyfriend. This isn't about revenge. This is about justice." I nodded, but I felt hollowed out, empty. "Go home," Janet said. "Take a week off. Process this. I'll handle the filing and the follow-up. If Amanda tries to contact you, don't respond. Let everything go through me. Okay. And Marcus, you're going to be okay. You're going to rebuild, and next time, you'll see the red flags sooner." Over the next 2 weeks, everything unraveled. The Oregon State Bar opened a formal investigation into Derek Hoffman. Conflict of interest, attorney misconduct, fraud. His partners at the firm suspended him pending the investigation. Word got out fast. Legal community gossip travels at light speed. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office charged Amanda with 3 felonies: fraud, perjury, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Her bail was set at $50,000. Her father had to put up his house. The local legal blog picked up the story. Divorce fraud scheme exposed became attorney suspended in romance-fueled scam, became wife's fake abuse claims lead to criminal charges. Amanda's employer, the marketing agency she'd climbed the ranks at, fired her 2 days after the charges were filed. Public statement about integrity and trust. Her friends disappeared. The ones who'd been willing to witness my abuse suddenly had no comment, suddenly couldn't be reached. The house stayed mine. The cars stayed mine. The business stayed mine. And Amanda? Amanda hired a criminal defense attorney named Patricia Vance, who charged $400 an hour and looked at the evidence with the expression of someone who knew her client was screwed. They tried to negotiate. Amanda would drop any claims to marital assets if I'd ask the DA to drop charges. Janet's response was simple. No, your client fabricated abuse allegations, Janet told Patricia over a conference call I was patched into. She created false evidence. She tried to steal everything my client built, and she did it all while sleeping with her attorney. The DA doesn't need Mr. Davidson's cooperation to prosecute. The evidence stands on its own. Patricia sighed. What does he want? Nothing. He wants to move on with his life, while your client faces the consequences of her actions. 2 months later, Amanda took a plea deal. 2 years probation, 500 hours community service, $75,000 in restitution to me for legal fees and damages. Permanent criminal record. Derek Hoffman was disbarred, effective immediately. 23 years of legal practice erased because he couldn't keep his pants on and thought he'd found an easy mark. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Amanda moved in with her parents, got a job at a retail store, makes about 1/10 of what she used to make. She's still paying me $3,500 a month in alimony, direct deposit, first of every month. I won't lie, those first few months were hard. I kept expecting to feel victorious, triumphant, like I'd won some great battle. Instead, I just felt sad. Sad that 8 years of marriage had come to this. Sad that someone I'd loved had been willing to destroy me for money. Sad that I'd been so blind to what she really was. But slowly, things got better. I sold the house. Too many memories. Too many ghosts. Bought a smaller place closer to downtown. Fresh start. The business grew. Turns out, almost losing everything makes you appreciate what you have. I worked harder. Took better clients. Raised my rates. Janet and I became friends. Real friends. We have coffee every month. Compare notes on terrible people trying to screw over their partners. You were lucky, she told me once. Most people don't get the warning. Don't find the burner phone. They just get blindsided. I don't feel lucky. You're alive. You're free. You kept what you built. Trust me. You're lucky. Last month, I ran into Derek Hoffman at a coffee shop. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. No fake tan. No expensive suit. He looked smaller somehow. Deflated. Our eyes met. He looked away immediately.